Hey everybody, it's Glam and a Tea. Welcome to day 5 of Vlogmas. I am going to be doing a how to blend shadows tutorial for you guys today. I know I said that I was going to show you how to blend out purple shadows, and I'm still kind of playing around with that idea, but I really wanted to show you kind of a black smoky lid instead, because I know that's kind of a go-to for holiday glam. And then in a later video, I'm going to show you how you can bring that up another level by adding glitter and proper ways to use glitter. So we are going to kind of dive right in and get to it. Be sure to like, subscribe, hit the bell. I definitely want to hear comments from you guys on what you think, what you want to see. Let's get into it. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be working with a couple different palettes, mainly living in the Tati Beauty palette, and sadly it is sold out and all the pre-orders sold out really quickly, but this palette is amazing. I may add in a little Natasha Denona. I have one of her mini palettes, and this is the mini nude palette, and they kind of work hand in hand, and I'll show you with the Tati Beauty colors and everything. This just gives you so many options, and then if you add in some of these tones, like I like the brown tone from here. It's a little bit richer and deeper than Ritual, but we'll see. I kind of want to be living in this end of things, but we'll see where we end up. So what I'm going to do first is I am going to take my Morphe M503 and go into this Aura matte shade, thoroughly coating the brush, dusting off some of the excess, and putting that right up underneath my eyebrow, basically right on the brow bone. This is going to be the start of my transition shades. Transition shades just help so you don't have a stark contrast and kind of like a cut edge with any of your kind of your smoky eye or like a grungy glam. I guess I wouldn't call it smoky eye. I'm gonna say grungy glam because that's more me. Grungy glam. I am wearing just a standard plain black t-shirt today. I know a lot of my fellow makeup artists can understand this. All we own is black, and there's nothing wrong with that. A good black t-shirt is amazing. This is I don't even know what this is. I think it's something I got at TJ Maxx. And then my statement piece, actually, I'm going to try and add in some statement pieces on some of these more holiday glam parts. This is an Edelweiss or Edelweiss necklace from Germany. My great aunt went to Germany quite a few years back and brought this back for me. So just tossing more of that Aura shade up underneath the brow, basically underneath the upper edge of the brow and into that brow bone. And then we are going to move into this tone here, which is called Soothe, and hers is laid out. There's glitter, metallic, sequin, and matte. She's got it laid out this way, but she's got the color story laid out this way as well. And you can work diagonally, you can work all over this. It's not, you're not stuck to using just the blacks together, the browns, the oranges, the taupes, any of that together. You can live all over this, and I'm hoping to live kind of all over this for you guys as well. I'm gonna move into, I got this from Ipsy. This is just a little bit, so I'll show you. This is a bigger, denser brush, and then this is a little bit tighter because I want this Soothe shade. So picking that up again, tapping off some of the excess. I want that to live underneath the brow. Now, the easiest way to find where you should put kind of your crease shade is if you tilt your head back and kind of feel for the bone, and where that bone you can start feeling the softness. It's going to go right in there. So first I'm going to tap that shade under that area. And then I'm going to work to blend upwards in circular motions. So I guess it's going up and down when you use that. You can throw your brushes around too, that's pretty fun. Otherwise, you can just blend straight upwards. And it's all in brush angles too. So if you're blending down, you're going to want to angle your brush down. If you're blending up, you're going to want to blend it up. If you're just kind of wanting to smooth that around, almost go right in like you're going to be poking yourself in that crease area. So you can blend a multitude of ways. It's not specific to just one way. And then I'm going to actually take this a little bit higher onto the outer brow, right onto that brow bone. So it's blending with that first shade that I placed down. Going back into Soothe again, repeating. I hope everybody is having a good December, starting out their December really well. We kind of came into December, end of November, with a pretty decent snowstorm, which it is Wisconsin. But then we hit like a cold day. I think the highest it was when I had first started my morning, the other morning, was 14. By the time I went to the store and everything, it had warmed to 26, so it's not terrible. It's not the horribly cold snap, but it was cold. So again, going on that outer brow, blending in circular motions. Now, the good thing with these shades, with this palette, you really don't have to blend a ton to get your desired look. But if you ever run into a situation where it's looking patchy or uneven, you can either pick up more product and place that down, but you have to be sure you even it out on both sides. If you go in further on one side, you're gonna have to go in that same distance on the other side. It's just muscle memory at this point for me, so I'm trying to give you guys tips and techniques to kind of combat that. And also, it's all on brow space in relation to the lashes. I've got a good inch between my brow and my lashes. Some people don't have that, or some people have a monolid or a deep set crease. If you want to do something like a cut crease or any, sorry, I have something in my lashes. If you want to do a cut crease or anything like that, you just have to move where you're doing your crease shade at. So if you have a deep set eye, you move that deeper tone to define that crease up higher. If you guys want a tutorial on that at a later time, I can definitely show you. I have a couple friends that I could use that on. So I want to add just a little bit of a different transition in between that Soothe and Aura tone. So I'm in that Natasha Denona mini nude palette, picking up the shade, oh no, Natasha Denona, if you ever see this, please tell me how to pronounce that. Please? Okay. So just tapping that up, and as you can see, that's a little bit more of a warm brown tone, almost a different flesh tone. Tapping off the excess, and just kind of what I'm doing is I'm just placing that above the shadow in that brow bone area, and then I'm just gonna blend them together. I'm actually gonna go into my clean sweep real quick, take off some of that excess so I can blend these together a little bit softer. So as you can see, it's starting to blend out on the edges, and all of the colors are starting to blend together. Now, you don't necessarily need to go as deep onto the lid as I had done. You can place your tones just short as well. And that's another thing too, with smaller lids, get smaller brushes, because then it makes kind of that blending process, that placing process a little bit easier. Okay, So I have my outer eyelid brow space blended pretty well. I am going to work in now, transitioning from that deeper brown tone. So I'm actually gonna pop into Ritual first, and then into Soil from Natasha Denona, and then eventually getting to the black on the lid. Again, I kind of want that grungy rocker look. To do that though, I'm actually going to use a smaller brush. This is another one of those BBL. It's a very dense, tightly packed bristle brush. We're going to tap into Ritual, tap off some of the excess, and again, tilting my head back, kind of going in at a 45 into that crease. And then this one I'm going to blend upwards back with that Ipsy brush that I was using to blend the other tones. Pop a little bit more on the outer corner, just because I'm going with more of an elongated space on the lid, elongated shape, and I'm trying not to lose a ton of the shape of this, yet I want it, I'm not going for a cat eye, I'm not bringing the shadows, you know, the deep tones up, I'm trying to keep it mainly on the lid. So again, back in with that Ipsy brush. It's part of the Tetris collection, I believe. So circular blending, and again, you've seen how stark I laid that shadow down. Now I'm just blending. Another thing you can do is you could actually just go straight for the black tone on the shadow. I forgot to tell you, my brows are done. My lids are primed with my Painterly paint pot. Probably should have told you that. There are other primers out there. I know Urban Decay has a really good one. Their primer potion has been around for a very long time. Some people use just concealer on your lid. You will find that the more you prime your skin and your lids and everything, your shadows, your foundations, everything will stay. And then if you set it with setting spray, that will also help. So I'm tapping back into Ritual, doing that 45 again, and placing this down. Another reason why I go a little bit further down with my shadows is that if I ever make a mistake in placement, I can still move things upwards. You just got to be careful, because I just kind of bumped. You just got to be careful you're not bumping higher up on accident. If it happens, it's no big deal. You can just go back with that clean brush that you were using or the other brush to blend and blend things. Blending, blending, blending. I'm using a cross between a circular blending motion and the windshield wiper motion. Both of them are just fine to use. All right, we're gonna pop into the Natasha Denona palette with the same BBL brush, tapping in, tapping off the excess, using that angle again. And I'm actually liking this brown tone a little bit more right now than that Ritual tone, just because I want it to be a deeper, richer, and shade. I want to be able to see the contrast between the shades when I start kind of doing that grungy glam. So I'm going to lay these down and see where we go. You'll probably hear my doggo snoring. He's napping, which is good. If he wasn't napping, he'd be sitting here whining. Back in with the Tetris brush. Blending. And we'll see. I may get these shadows all down and realize when I lay the black down that I want the transition of the black to go higher. we'll see where it goes. I know for a while when I was laying black shadows down, I was laying down underneath black eyeliner in like a pencil form to get the blacks to really stay and to really show. But with this black memory shade from Tati Beauty, I am not needing to lay those underneath. So I'm gonna kind of lean in so you guys can see there's just that soft transition between those shades that I'm using. And you don't have to use this many shades. You can literally use one shade. You can do a light to dark. I'm just giving it kind of more of that transitional blend to show you multiple ways of getting a smoky eye. A smoky eye used to be defined with kind of brown tones, and then you really smoke out the liner. But like I said, this is more of a grungy glam. Did I just make up a style? Grungy glam? I think that's me. Grungy glam in a tee. Let's go with that. That was a funny face. I'm well aware. People have been pointing that out. Okay, so I'm going back in with that flatter bristled brush. As you saw in my yesterday's video, I have retired my MAC 252 brush. It is one of my best ones for doing this look, but it is time to retire that and replace that. So I am picking up the memory tone on the flat side of the brush. So you can see that kind of coated on there. And I'm just gonna start tapping that onto the lid. Really just kind of tapping back and forth. I may actually move into a more dense brush to get it to do what I want, but we will see. So a lot of things that I notice when I'm doing my shadows, I tend to squint. So if you guys can kind of see, I have little lines that form when I squint, and I don't know why I do it. I don't do it with anybody doing my makeup. I just do it to myself, and I think it's kind of the whole fear of stabbing myself in the eye, maybe? I don't know. I'm not quite sure. Let's see if we can find a denser bristle. We're gonna do this one here. This is a Luxie brush. It is a Harlequin. It says Goodnight on it. It's a very flat brush. It's a 110. So going into that memory shade and really packing that on. As you can see, it's already naturally started to soften around the edges, and that's going to be blending again to really blend those tones together. I may go back in with that darker brown shade to create that transition I was telling you about, or I may even push this black tone up higher. We'll see when we get the other one done. As you can see, sorry, there's something completely covering the sign. Trusting the process is really huge and really key with this. You have to just trust that after you get lashes and liner and everything on, your look will come together. And it's so funny because a lot of my Instagram photos don't have lashes on, just because I have a really hard time with thick banded lashes. So I have to get certain ones for myself, and if I don't get those, then my lashes look crooked and they lift weird no matter how much I bend and shape the lashes. So we're just going to continue placing the memory shade on the lid, and then we're gonna blend. So again, blending is a motion that you do with a looser bristle brush. Now, it's not to be said that you can't do it with a more dense one. You're just gonna get a different layout. I'm going to clean this off real quick and show you. So I'm going to use that flat brush that I was using and do some blending and show you how the edge changes. So as you see, it started to disperse differently versus using this brush here. So this is going to be a little more precise. Or that, I almost like the flat brush to diffuse this out better because like I said, I wanted to pull that up not so much on the lid to shrink the lid, to shrink the eye shape. So we're just going to blend with this one. And again, if you notice patchiness or where shadows aren't grabbing, go in with the edge of the brush on any kind and lay that almost flat to your face to get that inner corner. And to take care of some of those creasing lines. Blending will eventually take them out too, but you just got to make sure that you have product placed. At least with this, you don't have to, but some of my other shadows, you have to add new product every time you want to blend something out because it just kind of takes the product off. And I'm not necessarily pointing to Jeffree Star saying his products do that. There's just some products with touch, with feel, cat scratching, with touch, with feel, you'll figure it out. Eyelash in the middle of my forehead. And then just to kind of finish this up, I am going to add some of that memory tone on the flat side of the brush underneath the eye. Managed to pick up glitter already. Just making sure that my shapes are all the same with that blending process. Some people worry that if you do too much of this, you can look like a raccoon. If you get it into your head that you feel like you look like a raccoon, you're going to think that you look like a raccoon. Again, trust the process, let things finish out, and it will all work out for you. So, again, blending is all about bristles, brush type. Again, Morphe, very inexpensive brushes. They work excellent to blend things out. I will keep doing this. I'm going to end the video now. Thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you learned some tips and techniques with blending shadows. And don't forget, if you've ever make any makeup mistakes and you feel like you've gone too far with something, take it off, start over. It's makeup. It's not permanent. You can always change it. I hope to see you guys for video 6. We will see you soon. Talk to you later. Bye.